Good morning, everybody. This is Andy talking to you. I thought I'd do a video. I don't want to do any more videos. So I'm just going to give you a video on why I started doing them. Because I got tired of listening to preachers and gurus and all kinds of other people in search of God when the whole time I knew where God was. And I got this from a dream. I figured it out. Plus years of studying, reading the Bible, studying other religions, the Sumerian religions, and Hindu and Buddhist and Taoism. But it's so simple. It, we're taught to deny the truth. That's what the schools are for. And I'm not going to make more videos because I'm dissatisfied with the quality of the videos. So until I get my office together, everything in order, my house cleaned up, quit living like a bum, then I'm going to not make videos. I'll let everybody else do it. There's so many out here like this guy. I hope you can see that. Herbs plus bead works. You go to that channel and you can find out all kinds of interesting stuff about electromagnetic frequencies and how to defend yourself and make Faraday cages and all that good stuff. Colloidal silver, colloidal copper, all kinds of good stuff. And also on that, I've been doing quite a bit of colloidal silver over the last year. You know, 500 parts per million comes in a bottle, and I do about 6 drops a day for like the last year. But I'm starting to turn blue, so I'm going back off to just like 1 drop a day. And that has kept me fairly healthy and is fighting the doctor's opinion of having lung cancer and other junk. So I'll get rid of that. Mud fossils. I like that channel. But here goes the reason I started was I had a dream one night. Maybe it was a dream, maybe it wasn't a dream. There's different theories on that. And I really don't want to get into all that stuff, you know, where your spirit travels and goes into other people's bodies and all that stuff. So anyhow, this dream went, and it was pointed out that everybody in the dream was I. I went to a concert in this dream. I lay down in bed and I just woke up at a concert in Russia. And what was weird about was everything in the dream actually happened in real life outside my dream. Now, I didn't go there physically, like I didn't get on a plane and go there, but the concert was held in a Roman stadium outside of Moscow. And it was during the production of Day Watch or Night Watch, one of the two, by a rock star called I got it in my head, but it's not coming out. Effects of EMF. Yeah, that's what it is. And oxygen deprivation. It messes up your memory. Sleep deprivation, oxygen deprivation, EMF will screw up your brain. That's another reason I'm going to stop making videos with my phone. But Zhanna-Frisk did these movies there, and she was in the dream as the lead character. I'm not saying she actually was in the dream, but I had this dream the night she died. Okay. Uh, but my subconscious, or spirit, or whatever you want to call it, has to communicate, and it does the communicating by conveying information from your storehouse of knowledge. It goes into your brain, searches out, and finds things it can base together and create a realistic story that you can identify with consciously. But it was pointed out in this dream that we are all one. And we are all one in the sense that we come from the same source. That source is, see how I can explain this. Let's just tell you the story of the dream. So I go to this concert. I can't speak the language. I walk around. I get a sense of what the people are talking about. They're gathering at this concert because they're there to meet God. This is what I thought at first. Whoever was going to come up on stage was going to be God, and they were all excited, going to get to see God. So I went around all the spectators, the audience, just checking different people out. There was also a woman from the United States. She bought me a cup of coffee and some kind of hot pocket thing. It's really good, like beef stroganoff in it. And I found out that's Russians, instead of eating sandwiches, eat these things. But they were really good. It was cold out. You could see everybody's breath. So as I was going through the crowd, the lights went out. Everything became really silent. People were anticipating what was going to happen. And then there was the nitrogen smoke come off the stage, and it went up into a pillar. And when the pillar came down, there she was, standing there, and the lights were behind her. And the music was playing. It was pretty cool. And she sang a really neat song. And everybody was just totally silent while this was happening. And then she started talking. She just stopped singing and started talking. So everybody was listening, and I could hear everybody breathing. And she goes, "Come on up." And she pointed in my direction, and she said, "Come on up." And then she called out my name, and people stepped away from me, and then she told me to come up on stage. So I started walking up, and I was quite a ways out there. There's like 10,000 people, and they start making an aisle for me to go up. Well, the stage is up, 10, 12 feet. So I get there to the end, and people start creating a human ladder for me to go up on stage. So I get up on stage, and I walk up. She keeps telling me to come a little closer, come a little closer. So I get closer, and now I'm so close, I'm like a foot away from her. I can smell her. I can feel her body heat, and just the energy coming off her. I was thinking, that's pretty cool. And then she starts saying, "You are me, and I am you." And she kept repeating that over and over, and it was kind of annoying, actually. And then she sensed I was being annoyed. She grabbed me by the shoulders, turned me around, pointed out in the audience at one particular guy that stood out. And she goes, "What's his name?" So I was like, I haven't a clue. She, again, "What's his name?" So I just made up a name. And he starts jumping up and down. And he comes up. And he's got an ID card. And that ID card has that name on it. And this happened several times. She repeated this. And I picked several people out of the crowd. And every name I gave somebody, that's the name they had. And then I started she asked me, what they did for work or a living, and I just made stuff up, and they start jumping up and down. That's what they did for a living. And then she started pointing out the stadium, the stage, and said, "You've made this, you've made that, you've made everything here." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And then she started back in with "You are me, I am you." And finally, I got tired of it, and I said, "Okay, you get somebody else to come up here on stage, and this is just too much for me." And I get off stage, and as I'm walking through the crowd, people are touching me, and they're like, "Ooh, I touched him," but they're saying it in Russian. I'm assuming that's what they were saying. And so I turn around, waiting for somebody else to go up on stage, and next thing I know, I'm waking up in bed. And the light's on, and it's really bright. And when I laid down, my wife was in the kitchen. And I figured she had come in, turned the light on, and then walked out. So I didn't want to open my eyes. I was feeling better than I ever felt before. So I was going to tell her to turn the light out. And I just opened my eyes, and everything in the bedroom was lit up really, really bright, like spotlight bright. But it didn't look normal. I'm like, "Oh, I'm still dreaming." And I started to point at something on the shelf to get my focus, and I realized something was really different. And it took a minute for me to figure out what it was, but when I stuck my hand up, it was glowing, bright glow. And my whole body was glowing. The light wasn't on. I was the light. My wife, she was laying next to me, and she rolls over, covers up her head, and says, "Turn out the light." Okay. So I just laid back and relaxed, was enjoying the feeling. The odd thing about the room was there were no shadows because I was the source of the light. When you are the source of the light, there are no shadows to you. And so I'm laying there, really calm, enjoying the euphoria. And all of a sudden, this girl appears over me. She's naked, and she's staring me in the face, and she says one word. She just looks at me and says, "Fractal." And then she disappears. And I was thinking, "Oh, I hope my wife don't wake up right now because I'll be in trouble." But she disappears, and a couple months go by, and I keep thinking about this dream. And so one day I was like, "Wow, I wonder how much truth was in that dream." So I get on YouTube, and this is when I first started getting into YouTube. And I go to YouTube, and I start looking at Russian singers and performers, and I find Zhanna-Frisk. And she's, I can't remember the song she was doing, but she's all dressed up in gold and looked just like the girl on the stage. So I started going over her music and some of the words, and she's got, I know she didn't write any of the songs. All this stuff is made up by people, and she's just an actress. But one of the songs is about her boyfriend across the sea that she had never met. And he was called the Iceman. I'm the snowman. But I guess it's the same thing. But you used to go to the beach all the time and stand out there, look across the water, put your hands in the air, your feet in the ground. And that's what it says in the song. And the song says she used to do that from Russia. Well, directly across, if you went straight out from the beach we'd go to, that's Russia. No, it comes around. Siberia is not in China. But I'll look it up anyhow. But anyways, it's the same direction. And I thought that was pretty neat, that particular song. And yeah, I get things mixed up in my mind sometimes. I don't write stuff down because then it becomes a script and it's not me. It's something else. So then one day we're in Starbucks, me and my wife, and she asked me when I had the dream, and I had to think back on it, and it turned out, it was the same date. She was reading an article about Zhanna, and I didn't know at that time that she had died, and it was kind of a shock to have that experience, to know that I had that dream on the same night that she died. But I still didn't get the message. So I kept running it over and over through my head. I went over all of her music. I even started studying Russian. And I'm still terrible at it. Just learned how to cuss. But the message is, in the dream, I was walking around, I was talking with everybody. I was communicating with everybody. I knew all their pasts. I knew everything about them. I created the stadium. I created the city. I created the continent, the planet, the solar system, everything. The people weren't there to see God walk up on stage as I thought they were. They were there to meet their God. And that's what Zhanna was trying to tell me, was I was their God. In the dream, you have created everything. You've created the laws by which that universe exists in your mind. And what ties it all in together is the fractal. When you fractal everything out, it repeats itself in concept. So just like everybody in my dream had a God they worshipped, it turns out that I am that God. When you have a dream, everybody in your dream is a construct of you. They are all using your brain. All your knowledge, all your whatever. To them, the people in your dream, when they pray to their God, they're praying to you. Here, now, in the existence we're in, is the same thing fractaled out. My relationship to God is the same relationship the characters in my dream have to me. And it's another fractal, it's another step, it's another layer. Another dream I constantly have, or used to have until I figured it out, and it had the same concept. I was climbing a mountain. I'd get to a plateau, and I'd set up camp. I'm at the top of the mountain, and the mist would clear up, the fog would clear up, the cloud would go away, and every time I would look back, go to look around, instead of seeing the valleys and the rivers and everything below the mountain, I would see more mountain to climb. I would look up, there's another plateau. On top of the plateau is a cloud. I would climb up to that plateau. It would repeat, it would repeat, and it would repeat. And I thought the concept was, you never reach your goals. No matter what you do, what you set out to do, you're never going to reach it. You reach a plateau and you have a choice. You can continue upwards or you can continue down. But you can't stay where you are. The plateau will eventually erode and you will have to make a decision, climb or descend. And it's the same in business or relationships, whatever. You can't stay static in this existence. That's one of the main laws governing us. That's a margin. You set the margins, you set the rules, and then you live your existence by those rules that you have set. And then I started recalling stuff that I've read in the Bible and other texts. And every religion tells the same story I just told you. They do it in different manners. Some generalize it by saying you are gods. Some are specific and say you are the God within you. And that's how I view things now. So what's the purpose of life? The purpose of life is to experience life, everything in it, good, bad, it don't matter. You can call it stoicism, look at it that way. That's another thing I just started reading. All these gurus, Tim, oh well, the motivational speakers and Gephardt, Watt, Peterson. There's just so many to name, but I started reading Marcus Aurelius and realized all this stuff that all these channels are teaching you, these new things, the concepts of how to get along in life, how to make your business successful. Miyamoto Musashi also went over this in his way. They were written, 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote it all down. If Marcus Aurelius was running for president today, he would get elected. If he was a guru, he would be the most sought after guru. Priest. It was just amazing. But they call his teaching stoicism. And it's all about bettering your lives, how to deal with pain, how to create the existence you want. So I'll be doing a little more studying on that and looking up a few other things. It's also led me down a path of other people that are inspiring. I also like watching Triple Crow or 777 Crow 777. Yeah. R. Wayne Steiger, he's pretty good on stuff. Also, this is a real cool book to read. She wrote a whole set before she died on Christmas, 2017, I believe it was. But M.D. Marduk. If you want to understand the Bible, then you should read her stuff and go from there, whether you like it or not. It's a good read. So what I'm saying is all these people have already done all the work. I'll just be putting my spin on it. I'll get my office together, my studio, and start doing stuff. And it could take a week, could take a couple years, could take a couple decades. I might not ever do it. I might just enjoy my life as it is. But, okay, time's up and goodbye. It's been 25 minutes. That's all I can do until I become professional. So find God in yourself and you will know God. Adios. It's that simple.